This is Marcus Oladil. I am a very bad Magic player, and I just started screencasting, mostly for my friends, but if anyone else is interested in watching it, I'd be happy to hear feedback. Excuse me if there's dead air, a lot of ums, I'm not used to doing this, but here's our first pick, and I think, I'm not sure the best card is. I'm relatively new to this. Savage Alliance looks solid. 2 damage to target creature, 1 damage to each creature, so that seems pretty good. I think that's the best card in the pack. I don't really like Permeating Mass. Galvanic Bombardment is always solid, but I think that I'd like to try out the uncommon, since I won't see those as much, and it seems like just a better card. There's also Wretched Grift, which I am a fan of. So we're going to take the Savage Alliance here. Alright, pack 2. Cards that I am considering. I got Prey Upon, which is solid if you have a lot of creatures. The Bedlam Reveler. Costs 1 less to cast for each instant or sorcery card in your graveyard. Prowess. When it enters the battlefield, discard your hand and draw 3 cards. That's interesting. There's also Conduit of Storms, which is, I think all of these werewolves are super solid. But I am going to take the Bedlam Reveler because it's a rare and I haven't had a chance to play with it yet, and I do like the blue-red spells deck, which seems to reward you for playing in. 3/4 Prowess, I mean 8 mana is too much, but I think we can, definitely the idea would be to reduce that cost, so we're going to take it here. Also a Foil Mountain, I don't think we're going to take that. Okay, what do we got here? This werewolf is pretty solid. Nice little ramp. Any creature for 2 mana that ramps you seems good to me. Could go red-green. Stormkirk Occultist. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, exile the top card of your library until end of turn. You may play that card, and it has Madness for 1 and a red. It seems pretty solid. And then, of course, the Cultist is here. If we want to cut blue, I haven't seen a ton of blue. This is not super strong. I think maybe Stormkirk is a little bit better. Definitely plays well with Combat Trick since it has Trample. And have Madness, potentially have a Madness outlet where we can Madness it in. These seem, the Cultist and the Captive seem comparable in power. I think the Cultist is less than both, sorry, the Captive and the Occultist. I'm going to take the Occultist here just to stay on color, but I think these two are close, with the Exalted Cultist being 3rd. Okay, what do we got here? Well, we have a Chilling Grasp, which is pretty solid. There's also this Thermal Alchemist, which is pretty significant reward if you can get enough of those guys in the spells deck. There's also the Outcast. Again, all these werewolves seem pretty solid. And then another Occultist. Another Exultant Cultist. Sorry about that. It's hard to say. I think this guy without a lot of spells isn't very good. And right now we have 1, which is a pretty good one. However, Chilling Grasp is solid as well. It's a tough call. Chilling Grasp probably seems like the correct pick. Maybe it's this Outcast as well, but I am going to take the Thermal Alchemist. I'm kind of partial to the blue-red spells deck, and this is an important card in it, and kind of a sign that that deck might be open. Though, maybe not, I'm not sure. Alright, here. Looks like we're kind of at the end of the road in terms of red cards, though this pack doesn't seem very strong in general. There's Olivia's Dragoon, which is a Madness Enabler. We want to be in blue-red vampires. Doesn't really go with our Thermal Alchemist here, although it's pretty good with this Stormkirk Occultist. Swift Spinner, solid. There's the Abominable. I don't know what this does. Prevent all damage. Oh, this is kind of could be a one-sided fog. Not really sure what the correct pick is here. I'm going to take Shreds of Insanity, though there's a good chance it doesn't make our deck. Alright. And these Outcasts are just flying around, and it's possible I'm going to get punished for not taking these because they are pretty good. Not sure. Red could be getting cut the other way. In here, this card I don't think is that great at all unless you're in a really dedicated spirits deck. Fiendbinder may be the best card. Griff is also good. White seems a little bit open. I am going to take the Homunculus here, try and stay on theme. Helps us cast some of our spells, which we definitely need to get more of. Right now we only have 2, and one of them is pretty bad. If we don't get a nice kind of threshold of spells. Ooh, that's a pretty late drag under. I like that card. What else is good in here? This is just kind of filler. Crossroads Consecrator can be good in the green-white humans deck, though. Not a huge fan of that deck. It's a little bit expensive. Borrowed Hostility, decent, but I think Drag Under is just the best card in the pack, and it's on theme and on color for us. Here we've got Laboratory Brute, not really interested. Prophetic Ravings can be okay in the dedicated Madness deck. Here's the Graph Rats. Spinner, and we're going to take the Advanced Stitchwing. I think it's a pretty good card. 3/4 flyer for 5, and you know, it can kind of come back. If we get any Madness cards, there can be a little bit of synergy there as well, but I think it's just a solid body by itself. So we'll take that. This is our original pack. Wolfkin Bond is still here. That's been a pretty good card. It's not quite Knightly Valor, but it's comparable. Does this do? Spell or ability an opponent controls causes you to discard. You may reveal that card and put it on top of your library. Yeah, that's not something I'm interested in. +2/+2. Not really interested. I guess we'll take the turn aside for the sideboard. Impaler, not very good. Borrowed Grace. Yeah, white definitely seems open. Maybe we should jump on that train. Maybe it's too late. I don't know. Guess we can take the Borrowed Grace. All these other cards are not very good. This card is pretty bad in my opinion. We'll take the Borrowed Hostility. It's decent. Goes pretty well with our Stormkirk Occultist, especially if we can escalate it. And it is another spell for our spells deck. We'll run it. Otherworldly Outburst. Target creature +1/+0. And this is a weird card. She's having bad things happen. Contingency Plan we're not playing. Grapple with the Past is pretty good. Put that in there. Guess we can take the Ravings. There may be a chance we side it in certain matchups. And we get another Otherworldly Outburst. Okay, well that was the okay first pack. Oh, another Bedlam Reveler. Can we chain them together? Ingenious Scob, probably the best pick though. I'm kind of... should I take the Alchemist? Is that good? I don't know. We only have 4 spells at the moment. I don't really think I want 2 8-drops, even if we can get them to cost less. The Scob is super solid. But I think I am going to take the Alchemist here, and maybe this Take Inventory Wheels, or another Borrowed Hostility. Scob is definitely not coming back, but I think we need to get like a threshold of Thermal Alchemist to make it good. Ideally like 3 or 4. Have any here? Don't see any. There is another Drag Under though, and I think that's what we're going to take. What does this do? Graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. That creature. That's pretty solid. 5 mana. Blood Mist I haven't been very impressed with. Primal Druid is good in the Emerge deck. 3/2 Delirium gets +1/+1 and Menace. Yeah, we're taking the Drag Under here for sure. Oh, there's a Midnight Scavengers to go with those Graph Rats too. Let's see what we got for spells now. We got 2 Drag Unders, which are solid. Savage Alliance, which I like. Shreds of Sanity, we don't know if we're playing that. And then we have So we have 4 or 5. Another homunculus, Fortune's Favor. People seem pretty down on this card. I don't think it's terrible. Though I don't know. I mean, it's possible, totally possible I'm wrong. Spontaneous Mutation is good, especially when you have a lot of spells, but it actually doesn't fit our theme because it is an enchantment. This pack is a little bit weak. This card is pretty good. Can be a nice finisher in an aggressive deck. Scarecrow, the 4/4 for 4 is solid. I think we'll take the homunculus again. Help us power out some of our spells. Okay. Alchemist Greeting. Deals 4 damage to our creature. It's not great. 4 damage for 5 mana. Ooh. Should we take this one? When you cast it, you may return target instant or sorcery. I think that's probably the card. We have some cheap creatures here. If we're not hoping we can flip our homunculus, we can sacrifice it to get that out a little bit early. Ooh, there's another Thermal Alchemist. Okay. Well, we're getting to that tipping point. It seems like 3 of them seems pretty good. We only have 4, maybe 5 spells. Those are both sorceries. Savage Alliance is an instant. Borrowed Hostility. So they're split even. So there's a chance we get both of them back. We definitely need more spells, though. These are contingency plan is not something I'm interested in at all. Take inventory. We actually will play this. I think this is the pick in our deck. Best card. Mornwillow is good in isolation, but not really good in green-black, I don't think. Bloodbriar seems really good in the Emerge deck, especially if you can get some clue synergies going. There's another Graph Rats, Fogwalker, not really interested in. Livia's Dragoon and Ironclad Slayer, also decent. But we saw it take inventory earlier, and right now, with all these Thermal Alchemists, it's just probably, you know, we want any spells that are not sad. Like Contingency Plan's just kind of sad, but this, you know, is just cycles at worst, so I think we'll take that. Here, now I think we can take the Alchemist's Greeting. Tangleclaw is probably the best card. It's pretty solid. Dawn Griff is also good. 2/2 flyer for 3 is always good. Another Prophetic Ravings we're not interested in. Turn target creature card from your graveyard to your hand as a zombie draw card. That could be good in the zombie deck, but we'll take Alchemist's Greeting here. Again, any spell seems good. Okay, here the Occultist seems good, especially we got this. This is a nice sacrifice target for our Vexing Scuttler. And another Graph Rats. I've yet to see any of this merging happen, but I'd like to see that take place, and it's a good chance it might, because we're seeing 2 Midnight Scavengers and 2 Graph Rats that we've been passing. But we're taking the Occultist here. Hopefully we can get this little combo going. Okay, this is our original pack. Yeah, Borrowed Hostility came back. We'll run another one of those now that we have the 3 Thermal Alchemists. We have this flyer here. We have our Stormkirk Occultist, which has Trample and can help us kind of draw a card, especially if we only put this on there for 1 mana. Either giving it First Strike, which can kill a creature potentially and trample over, or give it the +3/+0 to trade, and then, you know, rip another card off the top. So we'll take that. Seems good. Yeah, we're not gonna play that, but I guess we can take it just because it's a spell. 3/2, Thirsting Axe, not interested in. Borrowed Grace. This is good in the humans deck, but not gonna take it. Put that to the sideboard. Ugh. Alright, here I'm gonna take the Spontaneous Mutation because I think it's by far the best card in here. We already have an Otherworldly Outburst, and I'm not interested in these other 2. I don't know if I'm gonna start it. Maybe. It is decent kind of as a removal spell. But at least it's good to have access to it. Spectral Reserves. We'll just take the Creeper as a potential curve filler. We'll gack this Ironclad Slayer. Not interested in Contingency Plan. Livia's Dragoon. And another Ravings. Okay. It's okay. I think we are probably lacking some finishers. We have 1, so we want here? There's this Forgotten Creation that can definitely turn on Delirium quickly, but I don't know if Delirium is something we're interested in. There's Trail of Evidence. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery, investigate. I've not been impressed with this card. It's not super synergistic, but and there's also a good chance it's just going to come back. I think for us, it's either the Blood Mad Vampire or Gone Missing, which, you know, this is a decent spell for sure. Can trigger these guys, you know, keeps it off tempo, lets you investigate to draw a card. You can power it out with Curious Homunculus. We're going to take that. That's enough on the 5 drops, I would say. Catalog. Inner Struggle. I think that's the pick. That's a decent removal spell. Most things that you want to kill are going to have more power than, or at least equal power and toughness. Not 100% true, but I've been happy with this card in Triple Shadows, so I think we're going to take it here. Catalog could come back. It's not that great of a card, though it is a spell. We would be interested in having spells. Okay, here's some business. This is actually a tough decision. So we have Thing in the Ice. Right now we have 10 spells, so there's a good chance we could flip it. It's also a decent blocker. We have Press for Answers. And we have Pyrohound, which also would be good in our deck with 10 spells. Press for Answers is another spell that I like, and it's cheap. However, I think this is powerful enough that we'll take it. I don't know if that's right, though. Like, maybe the Pyrohound or the Press for Answers is just a better pick for us. There's a chance we'll see another Pyrohound and Press for Answers, obviously, because they're common, and, you know, what pick is this? This is pick 3, so we could see these two. Fleeting Memory is not something we're interested in. I think it's just not playable in this format. So we're going to take Thing in the Ice. Okay, here, this is actually an interesting pick as well. We have Uncaged Fury, so what does that go with? +1/+1, gains double strike until end of turn. Vexing Scuttler, Bedlam, goes very good with the Stormkirk. Trample, good with the Flyer. There's also Stitch Mangler, which is just super solid. But we're not going to really be, with these 3 Alchemists and the Thing in the Ice, I don't think we're really going to be looking to attack right away on curve. So I'm kind of inclined to take the Uncaged Fury, though that could be wrong. The Stitch Mangler might just be the correct pick. I don't know, though. Here, Structural Distortion. Call the Bloodline, probably the best card. Apothecary Geist, pretty good. For us, we're just going to take this Broken Concentration, but we're probably not going to start it. Probably keep it in the board. This format seems to be slower than Shadows, which was not the fastest format either. So it's possible that we could just play a counterspell like that. Okay, here, Jace's Scrutiny, which is a good spell. Can block, maybe trade it for a pump spell, and then get the clue. Something along those lines. Obviously, it's good with our Thermal Alchemists. Lets us investigate, draw a card. Nagging Thoughts, also decent. But I think we're going to take the Scrutiny. Here. Do we actually want this? Probably just want another Uncaged Fury, right? We're at 23. We'll highlight it there, so that's how many instants do we have? We can actually, we have 2 of these Borrowed Hostilities. You could think we want to play this versus the Borrowed Hostility. Not sure. Okay, there's a Press. We definitely want that. We already have a Gone Missing. Press is better. It's just cheaper. So there's a Sorcery. We'll take that for sure. We might want another creature. Put this in the sideboard. Ghostly Wings. Not really a Ghostly Wings deck. And Trail of Evidence. And we have enough instants and sorceries to make this decent, but I just don't. It's just too slow, I think. Okay. Dance with Devils. That's actually pretty good. 2 devil creatures help us block. Can ambush something. It's a spell. Any spells that make creatures is pretty good in this deck. Pyrohound came back. So did the Press for Answers. I think we take the Pyrohound, though. It's just really good. With all these spells we got going on. It's a nice little finisher. We'll take this combat trick. We're going to have to make some cuts, it looks like. Sorcery, 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 sorcery. Okay. It's a pretty even split. Where this Shreds of Sanity might be good. Just take that, I guess. We don't want that. Somebody else can have that. There's a chance they might put it in their deck, so we'll pass it to them. Okay. Let's see what we got going on here. Our last land, and we'll start our deck building. Okay. Alright. Everybody can see these pretty well. Make them a little bigger. Let's group our creatures separately. Okay, so what creatures do we definitely want to play? I think we want all of our 2-drops. I think these guys, while not super powerful on their own, we'll be able to flip those pretty reliably, and they do help us cast our spells. Thermo Alchemist can be the best card in this deck with this many spells for sure. Can do a ton of damage. And then Thing in the Ice is obviously going to be awesome if we can flip it, which I think we'll be able to. Occultist, that's just a solid creature, I think. It's not anything special, but it does synergize with, you know, like Uncaged Fury, and if we can get some of these cheap cards. Jace's Scrutiny is also good with it, where it can attack into something, Scrutiny. Only for 2 mana. If you have a little extra mana left over, you can play whatever card you flip off the top. Cultist is solid. A little synergy there with the Scuttler. And just blocking, you know, we kind of want to go a little bit long with these Alchemists, do their work. This guy can just block, we draw a card, maybe trade. I think we want pretty much all of our creatures. So what are we going to cut for spells? Do we want all of them? Is there something we can cut here? Definitely want all the Alchemists. Let's see. Borrowed Hostility I think we can cut. Let's combine these for a second. Sort by converted mana cost. Group creatures separately. Okay, here we go. I suppose we could cut this Take Inventory, because we didn't get any others, and then we have other card draw. We have these guys which investigate. Drag Under draws a card with a better effect than Take Inventory. Savage Alliance is, I think, pretty good. Creatures target player controls gain trample. Savage Alliance deals 2 damage to target creature. Savage Alliance deals 1 damage to each creature target opponent controls. So yeah, we probably won't be playing that first one, though we might. But the second 2 seem good. Actually, they synergize pretty well if you put 1 damage on everything and give everything trample. Thing is, we don't have creatures that necessarily want to attack until the late game, and this guy already has trample, this guy already has trample. So giving this trample seems pretty good. This trample with prowess, that seems good, but I don't know, the 2 damage plus the 1 to every creature seems decent. Inner Struggle is just solid removal. This actually makes creatures, so it's pretty good. 2 Drag Unders and a Press for Answers. I don't know that we need to play this Gone Missing. I think, well, one of these 2, I think, needs to go. I don't have a ton of interaction. So this lets us hopefully kill something. And Savage Alliance let us kill something that has 3 power, 4 mana, not bad. Could just gack randomly 1 toughness creatures. And then the Drag Unders let us draw cards. And these, yeah, I think it's one of these 2 cards that are the final cut. Either the Alchemist Greeting or the Gone Missing. Also cuts down on our 5 drops, so which should it be? I don't know what the right answer is. I kind of like the Investigate on this. Let us draw a card. So I think I'm going to go with that, and we really don't have any Madness outlets, so this is probably always going to cost us 5 mana at sorcery speed for 5 damage. So let's go with the Gone Missing. I think that's reasonable. There. Alright. Sort by color. Let's see. So we have a little bit more red than blue. We have 1 double blue card and 1 double red card. Okay, so it's kind of even that way, but I think we're going to favor blue. Actually, this Vexor is technically a blue card as well. I think we're going to, let's sort by converted mana cost and kind of see where we want to cast these things. So these we want to cast on time. This is going to be more down here, probably somewhere over here. It's pretty even. So we have 3 2-drops that are red, 3 that are blue. So I think I'm just going to go with 9-8, which is what Magic Online suggests, in favor of red, just because we have slightly more red cards. I guess this crab technically could be hard cast at 8, but by that time I'm sure we'll have at least 1 blue source if it ever happens. Okay. So I think that's it. We'll see you in the first round.